TensorFlow user groups. I lead two other communities in Hyderabad. One is something like AI app development community, and there are a few other communities as well. So it's been quite a long time that I'm into this, and currently my work mostly revolves around applied machine learning in the sense वो लोग जो boring काम करते हैं who work around math and all, and it all depends on the project. Like I'm tech stack agnostic, so that is how it goes. It's a bit about me. So first of all, I want to start from this part. Like, how many of you have seen this diagram? Like, people who are I think still students, the first thing when you type machine learning or something, this is what comes up. So I'll tell you what is the reason behind me telling this. Like, let's do one thing. Oh, by the way, let's start with a small activity. How about you guys unmute and just tell your names? Like, my name is Moin. Just give a one liner about yourself. अच्छा बस नाम बता दो यार, चलेगा.
Myself, Mehul Prajapati.
Okay, nice to meet you. Next.
Thank you for this opportunity. I am from Ayodhya, pursuing my bachelor degree in BTech Computer Science. Currently, I am in a last year and looking the opportunities in the AI/ML fields. I also have appeared in the GATE 2026 on the DA Data Science Artificial exam, and I have all the theoretical knowledge. I am looking for the practical knowledge
Moin.
to give my hands-on
बात मत कर,
theory.
मुझे डर लगता है.
What, sir?
अरे please don't call me sir. I'm not that old. So I was just saying,
Okay.
don't talk about exams. I get scared. So yeah, let's talk about development.
Uh, I have not much prior knowledge in development, but I have knowledge in the AI/ML fields
Okay.
and looking for opportunity in the data science, data analysis.
आज आपको डेवलपमेंट सिखाते हैं. ऑलराइट, नेक्स्ट. लेट मी कॉल आउट बाय नेम्स. तुम लोग ऐसे ही नहीं बोलोगे, पता है मुझे. सो बहुत शर्मीले हो आप लोग. लेट्स स्टार्ट फ्रॉम. ओके, मेहुल इज डन, राइट? दिव्या सिंह. बस कुछ नहीं, अनम्यूट करके नाम बता देना. दैट्स इनफ. एंड ऑफ कोर्स, विविध सिटी आर यू फ्रॉम, व्हाट यू डू?
Good evening, sir. This is Divya Singh.
Which city are you from?
I'm from Ayodhya, sir.
Oh, nice.
Currently, I'm also a BTech student, computer science and engineering. And as Simna Mehul, I'm also in a final year too.
Oh, great, great, great. Acha, by the way, people who are from who are like students, give me a thumbs up.
Yeah, sure.
Nice, quite interesting. Okay, chalo, so let's not waste much time. Uh, so, by the way, how many of you have quite interest in movies?
I am, sir.
Awesome, awesome. ठीक है, चलो तो let's. I have prepared a very nice deck for you guys. First of all, I thought कि चलो directly we'll go into hands-on, but like it might be a bit boring. So let's first take some ज्ञान कि how all of this started, from where all of this started, and then why agents are actually required. आजकल सब लोग agent agent क्यों बोल रहे हैं? And somebody, some random guy posts a nice thing about agent on LinkedIn that I have built this, I have built that, and we, by seeing that, we get a FOMO, fear of missing out, कि अरे यार ये इतना कर रहा है, मैं क्या कर रहा हूँ. So we'll debunk that today. We'll simply, like, show you कि how easy it is to build an agent, but before that, why is it required? Agent बनाना जरूरी है क्या? So let's discuss that, and then let's probably do a small hands-on as well. Cool. So the reason why I'm showing this Venn diagram is, for a moment, let's imagine कि there is nothing called as generative AI, which means your ChatGPT, Gemini, all of these are non-existent. So everything is just plain machine learning where you're just predicting a label output. So now imagine a world like this. Will you guys be able to do development faster, whatever your what do we say, projects you guys are building, or whatever knowledge you are getting from the AI tools? It won't be much personalized. So The concept of generation comes from one place where a research paper released which was called as Attention is All You Need. Anyone who has read or heard about this research paper, Attention is All You Need? Anyone? Okay, so basically, I'll tell you how important this research paper is in the world of machine learning. So, first of all, I'll tell you how important it's to me. So, let's say tomorrow my mom comes up and she says, "ये लड़की देखिए तुम्हारे लिए इससे शादी करनी है." The first question I'll ask that girl is, "Have you read Attention is All You Need?" If she says no, I'll reject her. इतना important है ये research paper हमारे लिए, especially for the people who have. Okay, bad joke, I know, but especially for people who are into generative AI field and all. So I'll tell you what this paper actually what like proposed. So if you can see in 2017, uh, something called as a decoder transformer architecture was released. So like I won't go deep into that. Simply transformers are what do we say? Like just consider that they are an ML algorithm, just like your regression vagara, but it has its own architecture where it is in two parts. One is encoder, one is decoder. So 2017 तक when Google Brain's team was researching on transformers, till 2017 or 18 people had only the encoder architecture. So encoder architecture क्या करता है? It uh, recognizes unstructured patterns and analyzes it, but something called as a decoder pattern was missing. Now, what does this decoder pattern do is generate new content from this unstructured, what do we say, data का analysis जो अपने encoder ने किया है. So that is the very thing that literally started the LLM's arms race in the world. So अगर वो research paper नहीं होता, then something called as generative AI would have been just a myth. So which means डीप लर्निंग के अंदर ये जो दो जनरेटिव एंड लार्ज लैंग्वेज मॉडल्स वाले subsets hai, that wouldn't have been existing. So everything that you see today in the world of generative AI, that is possible because of decoder transformers, which are able to generate completely new content. So if you normally see apna general machine learning projects, you have a data set. What data set mein already there is a lot of data, then you clean that again, you feed it to an algorithm, and that algorithm recognizes a pattern out of it and it predicts a label output. It does not generate new content. वो बस एक label output देता है आपको, prediction देता है with some confidence. But a decoder transformer architecture is able to generate new content, completely new content. For example, you ask ChatGPT ki write a poem for me, it will be able to write a poem. It won't take something from the internet. So that is completely new content. So that is what came as a path-breaking research in 2017, which literally started the LLMs boom in the world. So like if possible do go read about it. Of course बस research paper download करके ChatGPT या Gemini को देना and just tell to summarize. So just go ahead and read about decoder transformers. They are like super awesome, and it will be very interesting that how they are generating new content out of the blue. So it's very interesting. Go give it a read. So difference between a predictive ML model and a Gen AI model. So normally, let's start from basics key how stuff works. Number one, just like I told, like our regression or something, when you give data with labels, proper structured data, our model will be able to predict a label out of it by doing what? By simply making relationships. Like let's say price और time का relationship हो गया, जैसे जैसे time बढ़ता जाता है price भी बढ़ता जाता है, so it became a proportional relationship. So that is how machine learning works. But in generative AI, the content which is going is completely unstructured. For example, your prompts, आप randomly एक prompt देते हो which is completely unstructured, be it in any language. So out of that unstructured content, what are Gen AI models, what basically the transformer models do is it analyzes some patterns, takes out, what do we say, some insights out of it, and then triggers to generate new content. So on this, what do we say, grounds, all of your LLMs are working. and they are just getting better and better day by day, and you'll be shocked to know that this has been happening since 2017, which means abhi ek saal hoga to it'll pass a decade. So in 2027 we might be saying that attention is all you need ka jo research paper hai, that was launched a decade ago, which means generative AI has been there since very long, and people are still making iterations on top of it. So that is the very reason all of this AI boom is everywhere, ki everyone is talking about AI, that too specifically generative AI. So that again will lead us further to something called as AGI, artificial general intelligence. Ki now your AI won't be talking about specific things, it'll talk about completely general things, it can take care of all of your tasks. So that is the near future. Yeah, I think Anushka also put the research paper in the chat. Go check it out. Cool. So yeah, let's get started and talk about our real topic, why we are here. ADK, agent development kit की agent होता क्या है and all. We'll get started. So first of all, let's start with our mental model. What do you guys think agent is? Like आपके दिमाग में agent का मतलब है क्या? So you can either drop it in the comments or you can unmute and talk. What do you guys think an agent is?
Agent is like a form that an automation work can do. It can do a automation work.
Right. Very good. Anyone else? बस randomly, like when you see agent somewhere, what do you guys think of it? मतलब पहली चीज दिमाग में क्या आती है? You need not be right. I just want to know what is going on in your mind.
So agent is something like a kind of third party,
Okay.
and actually it depends upon where we gonna use. Like in the company, if you use agent, like you become a kind of employee, might be.
Okay. So let's discuss first of all agent का मतलब क्या होता है? See, first time when I heard about the word agent, I thought they are something like this, but of course they are not this. Oh, by the way, धुरंधर 2 किसने देखी है?
Me, sir.
Spoiler मत देना, बस give put an emoji or something.
Okay, okay.
Because tonight I have booked the tickets. मतलब usually I'm going in the night. 3.5 घंटे का रन टाइम है यार, इतनी लंबी मूवी कौन बनाता है? हम लोग छोटा प्रोजेक्ट नहीं कर पा रहे हैं एआई यूज करके. Cool. So yeah, these are not agents. Agent Vinod, yeah, Aryan Raz says agent Vinod, of course, even not that is also not an agent. So जिस agent की हम लोग बात कर रहे हैं, that is something like this. So once again, let's start with what we know. First of all, ML models. ML models basically are functions कि आप डेटा दे रहे हो, pd dot read csv करके सारा डेटा क्लीन करके उसको डेटा सप्लाई कर रहे हो, ट्रेन कर रहे हो. आफ्टर दैट यू आर डूइंग सम टेस्ट ऑन इट. सो दे आर फंक्शनल, which means let's say if you take a random ML model, decision tree classifier, linear regression, ये सब function है जो आपको मतलब प्री पैकेज कोई लाइब्रेरी से मिलेंगे. So these are something that are taking label based inputs and giving label based outputs. Then comes our जो अभी हमने डिस्कस किया ना, deep learning models, decoder models. Still I'm not calling this an LLM because a decoder model is a deep learning model. It is still not an LLM until and unless it's trained on some huge data. So अभी वो large language model बना नहीं है, अभी बस छोटा सा मॉडल है वो. But unlike our machine learning model, this is able to generate some new content. Like वो randomly कुछ नया content अपने से बना पाएगा by recognizing some unstructured patterns. Then comes our LLMs. Similar same यही decoder model को आप huge data supply करके train करो and iterate it over lots of parameters, then it will become a LLM. So it will be able to generate you new stuff, plus it's trained on some huge amount of data, so it will be able to give you some good what do we say, good enough insights for large scale and complex tasks कर पाएगा ये. So that is LLMs. Now coming to agent. So agents are autonomous toolkits with built-in memory and reasoning and some sort of feedback mechanism. So let's say ML model is like a single function. Function is starting, function is ending. Decoder DL models are also similarly like that, but in that same function, it is generating some new content. LLM is also the same, but it's trained on huge data. Agents are something like a loop. For example, let's say you're writing a where loop, where until the task is not complete, don't stop. तो वो लूप चलता ही रहेगा until the task whatever you gave is not complete. So let's discuss a bit more कि ये दिखता कैसा है. So for example, ये रहा आपका use case level on the first column, and then what the AI actually does. So let's say you are making a simple spam detector, which is your machine learning project. So this simply does, you know, a binary classification कि spam or not spam. That is machine learning. So then let's amp it up a bit, थोड़ा सा उसको ना powerful करते हैं. Then it becomes a search based project, which is a NLP project. For example, your knowledge search, जहाँ पे you're typing what the user does, यहाँ पे you're typing how do I fix a bug in Python. So how do I fix a bug in Python को NLP क्या करता है? It vectorizes, it does all of, because there's natural language, right? So language को वो फिर machine readable में convert करके it gives you the same predictions. So this something is that comes under deep learning. इसी को we'll try to add more like we'll try to make it more powerful. We'll add some LLM to it. Then this same prompt, let's say for example, this input will now be called as a prompt. For example, write a function for map something करके आप एक LLM chatbot को दोगे. The same exact things will happen which happen in NLP, but this will generate something new. So it will generate the code and it will wait for your next instruction. Now इसी को you try to make it more and more powerful by making it more and more autonomous, ताकि you need not give an instruction. That becomes your agent. For example, आप एक prompt दोगे build a login page for my website. Until it builds, it won't stop. It will do research by itself. It will take control of your files. It will also, what do we say, run in multiple iterations, so that let's say iteration 1 it gave some code, iteration 2 it will check the code and see for errors, iteration 3 it will again do the same until and unless it is completely done. It won't stop. Unlike your ऊपर वाला, you know, chatbot, वो बस एक ही, what do we say, response देता है and it's done. Plus it does not have its own memory. आप जनरल कोई भी, इंस्टेड ऑफ यूजिंग द चैट जीपीटी और जेमिनी एप्लीकेशन फ्रॉम द वेबसाइट, आप चैट जीपीटी या फिर जेमिनी का कोई भी मॉडल डाउनलोड करोगे एंड लोकली उसको यूज करोगे तो इट वोंट हैव मेमोरी. लेट्स से यू आर आस्किंग it something about your college or your project or something else, uh, something about Hajipur, something about Hyderabad, where is the best place to go, and then if you ask something that you asked in the past, वो याद नहीं रखेगा, which means it does not have a built-in memory system. So that is a, you know, key difference between a project which is called as an agent and which is a chatbot. Then of course this is where we are standing in 2026, which is a complete autonomous workflow, which means you are having multiple agents making a complete workflow. Key, for example, the objective is hire 3 engineers from my team. Let's say एक एजेंट रहेगा जो वेब से रेज्यूम स्क्रैप करेगा, देन उसको समराइज करेगा. देन देयर इज अनदर एजेंट हु इज you know, doing something else. So this is how it's going on. There's the use case level, and based on this we are, you know, designing agents in this what do we say, just a minute, hang on, did I forget something? No, nothing. So cool. So this is it. If you want to take a screenshot or something, I'll keep it like this, or anyways my presentation dunga, so won't be an issue. Cool. So this is what agent is about. So let's see it in terms of projects. For example, आपका machine learning project simple like prediction होगा. Deep learning project will be also predictions, but from complex patterns. For example, image patterns, unstructured content, like I told. Audio is also unstructured content, something like that. Gen AI project will be something like a GPT, like a chatbot, which will generate new content. Agentic AI project will be something that works on end-to-end flows. For example, your cursor or your anti-gravity, जिसको अब आप एक prompt दे दोगे, वो complete task execute करेगा, and it will take multiple iterations. So this gyan is generic. Now let's go in a bit deeper into a bit more technical gyan and see how it works internally. So एक second, here you go. So that is Jaskirat. Oh, by the way, पता तो होगा ना आप लोग को, जिस जो लोगों ने मूवी देखी है. एनीवन हु हैज नॉट सीन द मूवी? Okay, cool. So before training, let's say Jaskirat is like our LLM, जिसको मतलब कोई specialized tool नहीं दिया गया है, कुछ नहीं है, बस he has basic knowledge. It's like an LLM who's doing one shot. One shot means uh, it can execute one task at once. After that, it does not have a memory. So it does not have training to do any specialized task. Then somebody picks him up, gives him training, and gives him some tools. Now that same LLM based application has its own specialized tools, has its own built-in memory, and is able to perform tasks in a loop and does not stop until the task is complete. So that is the key difference. अब आप ये पढ़ोगे तो थोड़ा सेंस दिखेगा. Like an generative AI agent is an application that uses AI model itself, which means LLMs or SLM beat anything, and it makes decisions to act independently, which means you need not always poke and give prompts like you do to your general chatbot. So these agents are more like, what do we say, goal oriented tool. So like I told earlier, an AI agent is a kind of system that can reason by itself, it can observe by itself, and also it will adapt to the context you provide. Context का मतलब क्या हुआ, मैं भी बताता हूँ. For example, let's say अपना प्रोटैगनिस्ट हमजा रहमान को ले जा रहा है फ्रॉम पॉइंट ए टू पॉइंट बी, और उसने एक एजेंट को पूछा कि व्हाट इज द बेस्ट वे टू कम्यूट दिस मॉर्निंग. I have to commute faster and take an isolated route. We all know why he's taking an isolated route, because यहाँ पे wait कर रहा है कोई उसके लिए. So let's say if Hamza asked this to a general Gemini or any random chatbot, it won't be able to give him answers specific to his situation. Like it might say take the expressway, it is faster. It might say take some other route, it is, what do we say, traffic is less on that, but it won't be able to adapt to the context in which he's asking. So this is a general, अगर वो general LLM को पूछेगा तो ये होगा. But 1 minute, yeah, here for example this. So अगर आप LLMs को पूछोगे, then why will it give you a generic answer is because it does not have its own state. The reason why I'm pressing on state and memory and its own reasoning is that is the core difference between a general LLM and a agent. कि LLMs जो है ना, they are one shot. You ask it a couple of questions, after asking 4 or 5 questions they lose that memory, they won't be able to remember it. For example, imagine the earlier versions of ChatGPT where it completely goes out of context. लोग उसको hallucination बोलते हैं कि for example you're asking it about, let's say, your Python project. After 4 or 5 questions you ask it something else, then if you ask something again it is completely going out of context कि उसको पता नहीं कि वो कर क्या रहा है. That is not hallucination, it is just giving you the answers, but it does not have memory of what you asked earlier. For example, let's say the first 3 prompts were on Python, ki I'm building this project, I'm building so and so, I'm building so and so. Then you suddenly asked something about debugging, ki how can I debug my project, best practices batao, मैं code को कैसे neat लिख सकता हूँ. Then suddenly when you ask about Python, it might not answer in the same context, because after a lot of conversations, not a lot of, basically even after a few conversations it will lose its memory. So there is nothing that is what do we say, recording your conversation and referring to it. Abhi ho raha hai, abhi, like what do we say, in the general ChatGPT and Gemini it comes with a built-in memory system, but earlier it was not there. That's why it's called as one shot, which means you give your LLM one example of what you want to do. For example, let's say you want to get the recipe of how to cook biryani or something, like the only dish that I can think of as a Hyderabadi, biryani. So दूसरा कुछ आता ही नहीं है मेरे दिमाग में. So let's say you take an example कि this is how I want to prepare my biryani, just give me instructions to it. तो आप एक proper prompt दे रहे हो and it's giving you the recipe as a response. After that, like what do we say, the LLM's job is done. It is like, what do we say, उसको जरूरत ही नहीं है आपको conversation record करने की, because it's not built like that. That's why it's called as stateless. So uske state means data. Let's not what do we say, confused between something else. So state मतलब डेटा समझ लो आप लोग. तो उसको वो डेटा स्टोर करने के लिए कोई फंक्शनैलिटी या मैकेनिज्म बना ही नहीं है एलएलएम में. So that is the major difference between a general LLM and a agent. So what makes agents, Hamza, different from LLM chatbots, and how can we build this? So this is what, like I told, the internal, what do we say, memory system, internal state system, or reasoning वगैरह जो भी है, how can we build this? Like this is what makes LLM chatbots different from agents, right? So how can we build it? These are the core components. Number one, आप LLM ले लोगे, because LLM is giving you all of that data and all. Then you give some prompt, basically instructions in your code itself. For example, okay, मैं example लिखा देता हूँ. Let's not uh, go to and fro. So let's say you're writing the code, you're accessing the LLM. When you're taking the user input के साथ आप कुछ अपना custom prompt append करोगे. For example, let's say um, you guys as a user are using an application that I made, which is called as, let's say, Dhurandhar agent. Okay, and you guys asked something like what to do tomorrow. I will add my own prompt to it, which means while deploying the code itself, while making the agent itself, I'll add some set of instructions key. You're in this scenario, uh, you have access to this data, you have to answer in this way. So that whatever prompt you give, whatever, let's say, prompt in whatever way you give, for example, आप prompt देने में कुछ mistake भी कर सकते हो. So the, what do we say, जो LLM को input जा रहा है ना, it should be crystal clear. So these internal prompts and instructions will amplify your input that comes from the user, sorry, the prompt that comes from the user, so that in the right context the question is asked. It's never like, out of context. That is one thing. And then comes memory. So whatever conversation happens between the user and the model and the agent, basically it's all recorded, it's all stored somewhere. Maybe it depends again on what scale you are building for. अगर आप let's say छोटा सा Kaggle notebook बना रहे हो तो आप array में भी store कर सकते हो, just to show a demo or something. But let's say if you are building a production grade project, you have to store it in a vector database. So that that memory can be again retrieved from that. So uh, your conversation is stored. For example, let's say you tell the agent your name, my name is so and so, and then after tens of questions you ask what is my name, it goes to the memory, fetches your name, and based on the name it will again adapt to the context. So because of the prompt and because of the memory, वो context fine हो जाता है. For example, let's say you're building like, just like I told, a Dhurandhar agent, it sticks to the context. It does not go out of context. वो hallucinate नहीं होता. Basically hallucinate is a complete different term. Like we are using no context and going out of context को हम लोग hallucination समझ रहे हैं, but it's a complete different thing. It is where the model does not perform well. So that is one thing. And then of course fourth one is tools. For example, let's say let's get back to our original thing ki Hamza is taking Rahman to the place where SP is waiting for him. So वो कैसे डिटेक्ट करेगा कि वेदर कैसा है अगर बारिश हो गई तो. So it needs some other API या other tool which can get the weather data for him. So also, let's say if he has to get directions, he has to connect to maps. The general chatbot itself cannot give him the directions, right? So all the tools connected to our system, which is running on a LLM, which is having a set of instructions pre-given, which has memory, that makes a proper agent. Then if you add the, what do we say, control loop to it, for example, the where loop that I told, like let's say user has given a prompt, until the prompt is successfully completed, until the task, until the goal is reached, don't stop, do multiple iterations. That makes your agent complete. So instead of just an LLM जो one shot answers देता है, now we have context specific instructions that are sticking to the context. B, let's say user can give any kind of kachra, any kind of random prompt, still it will stick to the context because of these instructions. Then memory, which remembers what the user conversation was, so that it does not go out of context when giving answers. Then tools which will get data from outside to help in giving a best possible answer and doing the best possible outcome. Then a control loop which does not, again, give first response is the best response, but until the goal is not met, it keeps on giving response, it keeps on doing tasks. So that makes an agent. So आप लोग अगर कल के दिन एक agent बना रहे हो, all of these should be kept in consideration. All of these are like, the building blocks of an agent. Cool. So yeah, just an LLM, it is something like this. If you say hi, it will say hi, what can I do for you, which is a generic response. And then if you ask it what is 2 plus 2, it will say 4. And then if you ask what is sorry, teach me algebra, it will teach you algebra. But if you ask an AI agent, in our case, for example, our Dhurandhar specific AI agent, when I say it hi, it will say hi with, what do we say, our instructions given. So the response will be something like this: hi, are you looking for any information about Larry, or what are your next moves, कि चलो बुक में एक नाम तुमने स्ट्राइक कर दिया, नेक्स्ट नाम बताऊं क्या, समथिंग लाइक दैट. सो इट इज मोर कॉन्टेक्स्ट स्पेसिफिक. देन अगेन रैंडमली, चलो हमजा को टाइम पास नहीं हो रहा है, तो वो पूछ रहा है या अपने एजेंट को 2 plus 2 equals what, then it's saying it's 4. इतना भी नहीं आता क्या तुझे? Then followed by that it says, but can I help you with some other information related to your next mission, because it's sticking to that context. Then similar thing with random prompt like teach me algebra or something. So whatever is the prompt is given, it sticks to our context and it sticks to whatever memory was there earlier. So it does not go out of the lane. It is more like, goal driven. So agents are always goal driven, so they are not, something that do generic tasks. Cool. So moving ahead, coming back to our what do we say, map wala problem, jahan pe we are thinking of an agent where you're going from point A to point B for some specific reason. So if it is general maps, if it's a general application, what will it what will it consider? Firstly, it will consider how's the weather, ki weather kaisa hai. If let's say the weather is rainy or something, it might take X amount of time. If the weather is fine, if it is shiny, it might take Y amount of time. So weather consider karega, traffic consider karega, and after considering traffic, it will also consider what type of commute you're using. Uh, what if randomly Rahman the cat says that नहीं हम आज कार से नहीं जाएंगे, आज बस से जाएंगे, तो तब क्या होगा? So it will consider all of these things, and then of course the time as well, like what time of day you are going in. Chalo, if it is the evening time jahan pe there is usual traffic, so it might take X amount of time from this route and it might take Y amount of time from this route. So if it is your general traditional application, it will take all of these information, but it won't give you any insight. It will give you just data. It won't give you any proper insight, keep do this, do this, do this based on your context. It will randomly give you the shortest path and the best path to take without any insights. Simply wo pehle, like just like your maps 5 years ago, uh, it simply checks the traffic and gives you the best route. That's it, nothing. So what if it's an agent? If there is an agent, it will give you something like this. For example, based on today's weather, your first meeting, let's say, which is something around like the next 2 hours, you can take this particular route so that what do we say, you make it in time. So it connects with all the other tools that you provide, and also some of whatever tools you provide basically, and then can figure out a custom what do we say, path for you. Yep, anything you can there.
No, no, no.
Acha, cool. So it can figure out a custom path for you based on your context. So it will stick to your context and give you the custom path. So that is how this thing apna agent will work. So if you want to take a screenshot of this, you can. So I think this is the same thing that I showed earlier. So it is, agents are goal driven apart from your random application. So your random application just give you data but not context specific insights. आपको context specific insights चाहिए, then you have to deploy agents. So that is a bit of gyan about agents. Now how to make them? First of all, agent may, like I told, a system prompt is there. Let's go back to this one. Yeah, a system prompt is there. It is of course running on top of an LLM. It has a memory and it has access to tools. So the architecture will be something like this. So पहले अगर आप agent बना रहे हो, take a pen paper, make this architecture on the paper. So first, in your agent, a system prompt should be there, a state function should be there, and a memory function should, state memory one of the same. So something should be there that is recording the conversation, and not just recording but also giving back that conversation to the agent so that the context can be better. Then agent chalega model के ऊपर, it can be any model, it can be a reasoning based model, it can be non reasoning based model. Everything stays on top of your application. आप लोग अगर सिंपल एप्लीकेशन बना रहे हो, यूज सिंपल थिंग्स. कॉम्प्लेक्स बना रहे हो, स्केल करने के लिए बना रहे हो, देन गो फॉर कॉम्प्लेक्स थिंग्स. लाइक don't use stuff just to make it look cool. So you might use Gemini 3.1 just to do some basic things which does not make sense. कोई भी मॉडल कर देगा ये. So it all depends on your application and your scalability. Then after the model, connect tools with it. So just like I told, the weather tool which gets you weather data from outside, maybe maps tool, या फिर what do we say, your calendar which shows your next tasks and all. So ये सब आप जब connect करोगे ना, then based on these things your response will alter. So and all of these tools are fetched in runtime itself. So for example, आपने prompt दिया, model आपको response देगा based on the data which is coming from these tools, from these external APIs or whatever it is. Your prompt will be fine tuned, and all of this is happening during runtime. So for example, like the commute agent, something that the example I gave, what is the best way to commute this one, etc. So अपना system prompt बनेगा ये, you're a commute planner, you have to do this, you have to do that, and the user is giving this kind of prompt करके. Then for memory you will have some session id in the sense like per user you have an id, per session you have an id, and only for that session you are fetching the memory, and only for that user you are fetching the memory, right? So just like that, वो id बस आप दे दोगे so that it can read and write from the memory. And of course model will do its own thing, tools will give the data, and you will get what you require. So something like this. Model आपको दे रहा है, subway might be a good option. Check what do we say, MTA alerts, meteorological weather alert, something like that. And weather API आपको दे रहा है, weather is integrate. And फिर what do we say, your calendar से आपको आ रहा है कि 2 hours before the first meeting, which means let's say आपका stand up 2 घंटे में है, and then it will also check other tools like traffic tools and all की, let's say metro is running normally, या फिर any problems are there, या फिर let's say some delays are there. So all of these tools, the response and the response from these tools, plus what do we say, the system prompt, all of these cater to make one single prompt, and then उसका response आपको मिलता है. Cool. So based on that, आपका agent कुछ ऐसा response देगा based on today's weather, which is rain, which means the weather is not good, and your first meeting, which means let's say आपका stand up अगले 2 घंटे में, then based on the train status या फिर whatever status, this is the best thing to do. Cool. So I hope till here you guys are aware of what agents are, how to build them, and the basic architecture of it. Yes. Cool. Perfect. So first of all, why build, क्यों करना है? First and foremost reason is if you want autonomy. ये 3 reasons के अलावा the best reason I can give is, अगर आपको autonomy चाहिए आपके application में, only then you have to build it. Or else for simple tasks where user are supposed to ask 2 plus 2 equals what, and users को memory नहीं चाहिए, कुछ भी नहीं चाहिए, in that case don't build an agent. So it's like what do we say, आपको अखरोट क्रैक करने के लिए थॉर का हैमर की जरूरत नहीं है, so कुछ भी चल जाएगा. So that is the reason why you have to build a agent if you want autonomy, if you want what do we say, a proper context rich memory based application which takes care of the end to end flow, only then make an agent. So agents of course are easy to prototype, and पहले earlier without ADK agents का कुछ ऐसा होता था कि you have to write all of these components. Just a minute, oops. You have to write all of these components, orchestrate all of these components separately, but ADK takes care of most of the things. Now we'll discuss how. So these are a few things where agents are a good fit. For example, most of you are college guys, so ये चीज आपको बहुत रिलेट करेगी कि लेट्स से यू वांट अ कंप्लीट पर्सनलाइज्ड study assistant which checks everything. It checks your grades. It has a tool that is checking your study time, your preferences, performance, everything, and then based on that it's giving some custom insights. In that case, your study agent might help you out. But if you want to make it generic for the whole college, then only a study GPT might be enough. You might not need to build an agent. So generally, let's say कोई भी कुछ भी question पूछेगा, let's say this particular book CS 101 कहाँ मिलेगा, library में कौन से row में है, it will be able to give you data. उसके लिए memory की ज़रूरत नहीं है. But if you want to build it for yourself, let's say user specific अगर आपको बनाना है, then you have to put in memory. Then agents might come into picture. Like, because let's say then he might again ask the agent ki, when did I borrow the CS 101 book? Can you show a demo? Yes, I will show a demo. Hands on करवाऊंगा भी, don't worry. Demo दिखाऊंगा मैं. So cool. अच्छा, by the way, I think we are running out of time. Also, we started a bit late. So एक काम करते हैं, थोड़ा सा एक्सटेंड कर लेते हैं, 10-15 मिनट फॉर द डेमो एंड दिस थिंग. लेट मी स्किप दिस पार्ट and let me directly go to orchestration wala part. Cool. So first of all, let me skip some core things because these are more like senior developer based, which you might not face in the early stages, and ADK will take care of most of these things. So you might be thinking कि चलो ये सारा orchestration वाला architecture आपने दिखाया, should we build this completely as different applications? Earlier it was yes. Now with ADK it's a no. आपको ADK हर चीज दे देगा, even the UI. If you want to test the agent on some sample UI, ADK will also give you that. And if you want to what do we say, connect some tools या फिर connect some different models, ADK itself will take care of it. So this is something like this. ADK will take care of these things. So first of all, I'll ask you a question. ADK is a product from Google. So which models will be ADK using? Can someone answer? ADK, of course, Google ka product hai. So which models do you think will be available to use from? Okay, Aryan says Gemini and Gemma. Anyone else? Let's say मेरे को ना Claude use करना है ADK के साथ. Is it possible? Because ADK, of course, it's a product from Google, right? So can I use Claude or maybe something from OpenAI? Can I use that? Yes or no? Anyone? Aryan says, I guess yes. Acha, people who say yes, raise your hand. Who, if you think that ADK, which is a Google product, can use models from outside? Yes or no? People who say yes, raise a hand. Okay, 1, 2. Anyone else? Okay, people who say no, ADK because it's a Google product, it can use only Gemini. People who are saying this, raise a hand. Okay, cool. आप लोग confused हो. So let me tell you one thing. ADK is something that is open foundation. So open foundation matlab these guys have made it something like open source, so that you need not be specific to use only Google based models. You can use any model be it Claude, be it ChatGPT, be it your own custom model. So open foundation means number one, ADK is model agnostic, and which means you can use any model basically. Gemini to of course inbuilt आपको मिलेगा ही मिलेगा, but you can use any kind of, what do we say, model. So just a minute, let me show this one. Yep. So cool. First of all, model agnostic. Second is because ADK comes on GCP, it does not mean that you can deploy only with GCP. You can deploy it anywhere. It is also deployment agnostic. The application built with ADK can be deployed on other cloud platforms also, not just on GCP. GCP से आसान हो जाता है, that is another thing, but it is completely deployment agnostic. It is model agnostic, deployment agnostic. आप कहीं से भी मॉडल उठाओ, ADK से अपना एजेंट बनाओ, which becomes very very easier, and उस एजेंट को कहीं भी डिप्लॉय करो. So this is completely open foundation, and of course it gives you lots of interoperability tools. For example, let's say you want to use any third parties SDKs, third party tools, आप खुद का tool integrate करना चाह रहे हो, उसका भी scope आपको ADK में मिला हुआ है. It is completely open foundation. It's not, sticking to just Google based technologies. So that is a bit about ADK, why it is open foundation, and this is a learning roadmap. If you guys want, you can scan it up. If you guys want to learn ADK, there is a on ramp that is provided by Code Labs. I think I can copy this. Oops. अच्छा, link मैं डाल दूंगा लास्ट में chat में. I'm not able to copy this right now. Can I take this down? You guys have scanned? Or simply take a screenshot of it. या फिर मैं link तो of course दे ही दूंगा. Cool. So, oops, I think my presentation is lost. Yep, it's back again. Cool. So ADK being open foundation, you guys can use any model and be deployment agnostic. So now coming to, what do we say, I have built an agent. What if I have a huge application across different services? For example, let's say जैसे आपका backend में microservice होती है, just like that, if you want to build different agents, is it possible? Yes. Something called as let's say for our current commute application itself, let's say we want to make 3 agents. एक एजेंट वेदर डिसाइड करेगा, मतलब वेदर बेस्ड इनसाइट देगा. सेकेंड एजेंट ट्रांसिट, which means how you are going, from where you are going, transit based insight dega, what kind of, what do we say, path you are choosing and what kind of transport you're choosing, all of that. So one agent might take care of it, and then there can be a third agent which can completely take care of all of these things and give you a personalized insight. This can also be done by something called as A2A protocol, agent to agent protocol, which is also given with very easy access in ADK. So आप 5-10 हज़ार एजेंट भी बना सकते हो and seamlessly make communication between them and make easy task management between them, so that one agent can take all of these insights from all of these different agents and give you a proper response. For example, let's say if you are making an agent for your college where one agent takes care of scraping all the data from the library, getting you, basically let's say a library agent. Then one agent for labs, one agent for all the schedules. Let's say this time पे ये class होने वाला है, this time पे ये class होने वाला है. Then one agent which is a student focused agent, जो ये सारे agent से बात करता है और बोलता है कि let's say what is the best time to go to the library and have a peaceful time reading something. Then that agent might go scrape some data, use its own tools, and what do we say, get the free times, free time का जो भी slots होता है ना, वो निकालेगा based on the schedule. Then again it will talk to the agent which is taking care of the library and take out some slots from there and check the very book you want to read if it is available or not. And then your one student focused agent which is talking to all of these agents can give you a proper response ki this is the thing boss, library ये time पे free है and you are free on this time, so this one slot is where uh, what do we say, you can go and sit and have a peaceful time studying. So this is how it can be done. So let's directly get into hands-on. I don't want to bore you guys with more talk. So let's do a code lab. I'll give you the code lab ka link. You guys can do along with me. Firstly, I thought to simply make a demo. मैं hands on करता रहूँगा and I'll show you, but that is a bit boring. So I'll also do this code lab. You also do it along with me. So before this, anyone who does not have a GCP account, गूगल क्लाउड का किसी के पास अकाउंट नहीं है, अगर नहीं है तो बना लो. We'll what do we say, go ahead and do this. So you need not set up any billing and all for this. I think this will cost less than $1. So let me put the code lab link in the chat. Here we go. Done. You can simply click this. Meanwhile, let me open my cloud console. Perfect. तो कौन सा थीम चाहिए आप लोग को, डार्क या लाइट? डार्क में अगर if it's looking fine, then I'll continue with it. Cool. So yeah, first of all, I have made a project, simple like adaptive learning agent करके मैंने एक project बना रखा है, so that I can directly go and what do we say, show you guys some stuff. But let's not do this. Let's start from the beginning. By the way, none of you have used GCP ever, right? Anyone who has used GCP earlier, made a project or something, you can raise a hand. I have used, so I'll raise a hand. Okay. ठीक है, चलो, let's do one thing. Let's start from the beginning itself. Let me present my whole screen. Cool. Yeah. So the moment you click the link of that code lab, something like this might come up, right? And यहाँ पे, okay, let me close this one. यहाँ पे there is some documentation which you can read, what we are going to build, what we will do, etc., etc. And then probably it will ask you to what will you need, a Google Cloud account and a Google Cloud project. Web browser suggest Chrome, of course, browser में ही तो देख रहे हैं. So firstly, what we'll do is go ahead and make a Google Cloud account. Simply आप लोग Chrome में Google Cloud करके search करोगे, आपका अकाउंट लाइक व्हाट डू वी से नॉर्मल SSO यूज करके साइन इन करोगे, आपका अकाउंट बन जाएगा. You won't be able to like what do we say, you won't need to create some a lot of what do we say different things. बस single sign on से हो जाएगा. So it's a very easy thing. For now, let's consider that you have a Google Cloud account. Then उसके बाद हम लोग करते हैं कि एक प्रोजेक्ट बना लेते हैं. I'll go here, I'll just click this, I'll make a new project. प्रोजेक्ट का नाम रखते हैं, चलो let's say हाजीपुर एजेंट. Cool. As you can see, मेरा प्रोजेक्ट अभी क्रिएट हो रहा है. So once it's created, I can simply click select project from here. Now I'm inside my project. आपका जो current project selected है, you can see it from here. This is your Google Cloud console. आप console पे आओगे, this is the thing you will see. Now what to do from here? यहाँ से you can again follow the instructions from here, what to do, how to do, etc. And then after reading this documentation, you can go up. But let's not read this whole documentation. I'll directly go to project setup and probably we'll try to build an agent or something using ADK. Cool. So before this, I don't think you guys have to set up billing. Let me see if this is asking for billing. Yeah, it is asking to set up a billing or something, but I don't think it's required. So आप लोग, it's totally up to your choice, because if you want to set up billing, then you have to close all the services you accessed. How to do that, वो भी मैं बताऊंगा. So let me quickly just go ahead and show you the demo. Before that, another thing that I'd like to show on Kaggle is, अरे यार ये sign out कैसे हो गया? Oops, yeah. So I have made a notebook as a demo for mini AI agent demo. So you guys can simply check this Kaggle notebook out. This is not how agents are made, but this is just for a demo purpose. Ki very same whatever I wrote there, core agent components I've written here. So just to show that Gemini is not required, I'm using Grok and I'm taking what do we say? कहाँ गया model? I'm using some Bahar wala model, not Gemini or something. I'm using Quen, 32 billion parameters wala. And just like I told earlier, I'll be saving the memory in an array because it's a very, very small project. It's not a huge one, but that's not the right thing to do. So I'll just share this link with you guys. I'll make it public. But how is Anushka able to get all of these things before me? कुछ तो यूज कर रहे हो तुम लोग. मैं कॉपी भी नहीं कर रहा हूँ, लिंक आ जा रहा है ऑलरेडी चैट में. All right, cool. So let's go ahead and do the code lab. GCP कहाँ चला गया? Here you go. Cool. Perfect. So first thing is we have created our project. Project तो बन चुका है. Then project में करना क्या है is like setting up a billing and all is optional. After creating the project, what we'll do is, first of all, how do we start a machine learning? So let's not say machine learning, any project. So basically हम लोग पहले project setup करते हैं, which is done. Then we install the required tools, right? वो terminal में जाके npm install something करता है. So just like that, we'll go to terminal. I'll just search for terminal in the search bar over here. Cloud shell, अच्छा ये सारा documentation दे रहा है. और else यहाँ पे if you can see right beside Gemini there is a cloud shell ka icon. You can just click it and it will activate the terminal for you. Authorize. Cool. So basically अभी terminal में हम लोग क्या करेंगे? Simply we'll install ADK. We'll try to create a project from the terminal, which gives us some boilerplate वगैरह, and then we'll try to run the project and see how it is working. Cool, perfect. So I'm already in my project, so I don't think I have to, give the project ID and all. Or else देकर देखते हैं. Let's see. So one random what do we say thing to do is not random. It's required, but I'm not sure if it's compulsorily required or not. So you just have to do gcloud config, just like you do git config वगैरह to set up your git account. You just have to do gcloud config and add your project id. So project id add करने पे आपको what do we say, basically the terminal takes access of your project. So gcloud config set project id, I think set project, oops, set project होता है क्या होता है? I think set project ही होता है, not project id. Set project, and here will go your project id, which you can get from here, I think. Yeah, this is the id. I'll just copy. अरे जा भाई, copy करने दे. Done. I'll just hit enter, which means मैं जो भी करूँगा I'll do it in this project from the terminal. It won't go to any other project or something. Fine. So abhi now after doing this, we simply have to activate some APIs. For example, I'll tell you the difference between doing a project in your local and doing a project on your cloud. तो project जब आप local में कर रहे हो आप package install करते हो, which means for example most of you might have been doing web. तो वेब में ऐसा होता है आप npm install something करते हो, आपका package json update होता है, then all of your modules and all get set up. Simply let's say आप मोबाइल के साइड काम कर रहे हो तो आपका what do we see, so you just add the package to any of your package file, be it a YAML file or a JSON file, and all of those are downloaded to your local project. मतलब वो package का code download हो रहा है and it's getting set up in your what do we say, local project की repository. But on the cloud there are something called as services. For example, let's say you have to write a connect to a authentication service या फिर a notification service. आपको वो service की API बस enable करनी होती है. So now if you go and see something around, I think sixth या seventh होगा, sixth वाला step होगा in the code lab, there are some services that we have to enable in Google Cloud. One will be what do we say, AI platform, because AI platform gives ADK, AI platform gives you Vertex AI, everything. So I'll just copy paste that code as well. मैंने notes बना रखे हैं code के, so I'll just paste that in the chat. You just have to run this thing in your terminal, which is something like this. G Cloud services enable. कौन सा service enable करना है आपको? पहले तो है Google APIs, artifact registry. Cloud build I think is not required. Cloud build, if we'll basically use it to deploy on Cloud Run and all. But let's see if possible deploy भी करके देखेंगे. अगर time permit करेगा तो I'm already 15 minutes ahead of what we decided. Let's try to close this another 5-6 minutes. So I'll just hit enter and all of these APIs and all will be services will be enabled for this particular project. So one very important thing to remember is जब भी आप be it any cloud, be it GCP, be it any other cloud platform पे अगर आप काम कर रहे हो, so each project takes its own service जिसका ना cost cut होता रहता है. So let's say you've added some what do we say, billing details and all, and let's say you're using for example some service, some X service. Let's say आपने एक virtual machine बना रखा है for project A, same चीज आपने बना रखा है for project B and project C, and which means you have 3 VMs running across 3 different projects and these will be chargeable. So let's say अगर आप demo के लिए बना रहे हो, make sure you close them. I'll also give you instructions how to do it. Best thing ये होगा, let's say if you want to, आपका डेमो खत्म हो गया है, let's say आपका हैकाथन खत्म हो गया है, simply delete the project, disable the billing from that project and delete the project, because of course your hackathon is done and your demo is done. So अभी मैं वही करूँगा. Simply after my session is done, simply what I'll do is disable billing from this project and simply delete it. So I like मुझे ना ये डर नहीं लगा रहेगा कि something is charging me in the background करके. Cool. So if you can see, operation finished successfully करके आया है. So I've enabled the services. After that, what I'll do is simply I'll create a project. I'll just do mkdir. मैं project का पहले ना folder बना लूँगा, repo बना लूँगा, so that inside that I'll be able to what do we say, do my project and all. ADK वगैरह उसी में setup कर लेंगे. So this code lab is something of a zoo agent. तो हम लोग let's say हाजीपुर zoo करके बना लेते हैं. हाजीपुर zoo mkdir and then project के अंदर चलते हैं. So now I'm inside the projects folder. इसके अंदर हम लोग ना एक workspace खोल लेते हैं. So how to do that? Simply there is a command called as cloud shell open workspace. I'll also paste that in the chat. आपको ये copy paste, something did not get pasted. Yeah, something like this. So this will be on your seventh step or something. So whatever you have set up for, like जो भी आपने ना project name दिया है, बस वो यहाँ पे enter कर देना. Let's say in my case Hajipur Zoo. Now it's connecting to your Cloud Shell editor, and basically it's setting up the project for you. Tada, setup हो गया है. If you can see this, I'll just delete this one. Allow. इसकी ज़रूरत नहीं है. Delete permanently. Delete. Fine. So ये रहा अपना project. अभी setup हो रहा है. So इसके अंदर we'll do whatever we require. So अपना जो Python का scripts होगा and agent का script होगा and whatever is the code related to our agent will go inside this project. If you can see neatly proper VS Code वाला ही environment अपने को मिल रहा है. So for now we have just created the folder, we have just created the repo, and we have simply opened a workspace, which means simply we've opened a VS Code kind of thing. So पहले ना हम लोग ADK इंस्टॉल कर लेते हैं. Then ADK के साथ let's use some tools as well. For example, let's say to get the information of zoo and all, we'll take some like open source का कोई corpus ले लेते हैं. Wikipedia has the biggest corpus, so we'll use Wikipedia as a tool, and we'll also use LangChain to connect these things. So first of all, we'll create something called as a requirements.txt file, just like you do in every project. So I'll go back to my terminal. Terminal का चला गया है. Terminal clear कर लेते हैं इसको, and I'll simply do Cloud Shell edit requirements.txt. This is where every Python project starts, every backend project starts. आप एक requirements.txt बनाते हो, and in this you put all your packages so that all of them can be installed at once. So इसमें packages मैं use कर रहा हूँ ADK, LangChain and Wikipedia. Wikipedia will become our tool basically. ये भी मैंने chat में डाला है. And after doing this, what I'll do is the very basic thing which we do for all Python projects: activate a virtual environment. फिर से terminal को जाऊंगा मैं. I'll just do uvvenv. UV virtual environment करूंगा मैं. Activate हो जाएगा. And then I'll just do source venv bin activate. ये like what do we say, if you have made one Python project at least, ये आपको मतलब बहुत familiar लगेगा कि आप लोग एक virtual environment बनाओगे and then you will work in that. So I'm trying to keep it as basic as possible so that you guys what do we say, try to understand it easily. थोड़ा deep में मैं जा ही नहीं रहा हूँ. Cool. So ये हो गया, and then what we'll do is we'll install like normally pip install करके install करते हैं ना. So just like that, what we'll do is simply अपने virtual जो virtual environment का instance है ना, उसी के अंदर what we'll do is uv pip install क्या करना है, those packages which we have written in our requirements.txt. So -r करूंगा तो file read हो requirements.txt. तो अभी this will install ADK, this will install Wikipedia and LangChain. Here, cool. So abhi we've installed our packages. Then what to do? First of all, there are some things that are called as environment variables for each project, which are very very important. So ये बहुत ही important होने वाला है. So I'll tell you what to do and how to do it. So simply ना आप लोग एक file बना लीजिए in your project that is called as your environment file. Why do we do it? Your API keys, your API URLs, all your session information, project information, they must not be what do we say, exposed in your project. For example, let's say आप project को repo बना के कहीं भी open source पे GitHub पे डालोगे, somebody can neatly copy that API key, copy that details and use it for himself. तो bill आप पे फटेगा, use वो करेगा. So how to avoid this? Simply you write all of your sensitive content in something called as a env file. सो आप लोग env फाइल का यूज इस तरीके से कर सकते हो, एंड इट हैपेंस एवरीवेयर, नॉट जस्ट इन क्लाउड प्रोजेक्ट्स, एवरीवेयर। लाइक आप रिएक्ट प्रोजेक्ट्स वगैरह, वेब प्रोजेक्ट्स, मोबाइल प्रोजेक्ट, हर जगह env आपको देखने को मिलेगा। सो इफ यू कैन सी स्टेप नंबर 7 इन द कोड लैब, मैं थोड़ा सा इसका कोड कॉपी करके यहाँ पे डाल रहा हूँ। उप्स, आई थिंक इट डिड नॉट गो, लेट मी पुट इट अगेन। हाँ अभी गया। सो आप दिस पर्टिकुलर स्क्रिप्ट यूज करके ना टर्मिनल से यू कैन क्रिएट योर व्हाट डू वी से your env file. So let me also show you how to do it. Just a minute. मैंने ये यहाँ पे पेस्ट किया वॉट एवर आई सेट। पहले ये कमेंट को हटाते हैं यहाँ से, आई डोंट वांट दिस कमेंट, उप्स। or else let's do one thing, let me do it in some notepad. Present everything, cool। मैं सिंपली यहाँ पे नोटपैड खोलूंगा, I just create a new note, I just paste what I got from there। oops यार ऐसा नहीं, कहाँ गया था वो, यही है ना number 7, yeah this one। I'll just copy this, I'll just paste this here। what's wrong, ठीक से कॉपी नहीं हो रहा है ये, हाँ अब कॉपी हो गया, cool। सो बेसिकली आपका env कैसे बना है, वेरी वेरी सिंपल। पहले कमेंट को हटाते हैं, प्रोजेक्ट आईडी, प्रोजेक्ट नंबर, देन प्रोजेक्ट आईडी अपना रहेगा, यहां से मिलेगा प्रोजेक्ट आईडी, दिस इज योर प्रोजेक्ट आईडी। सिंपली इसको कॉपी करना है आपको, यहाँ पे पेस्ट करना है, ये सब हटा देना है, दैट्स दिस नॉट रिक्वायर्ड। project ID, oops, and project number, you can get it from your settings, oops, oops, lots of things। इसको यहाँ से हटाते हैं पहले, cool। settings, ये रहा आपका प्रोजेक्ट नंबर फ्रॉम योर प्रोजेक्ट सेटिंग्स। सो प्रोजेक्ट नंबर जाएगा यहाँ पे, and your SA name will be the same, it won't be different। so AI Hajipur agent, AI Hajipur agent, oops। so this will become your command to run in the terminal। इसको बस कॉपी करना है and you just have to paste it in your terminal जो ऑलरेडी यहाँ पे नीचे चल रहा है। पेस्ट, टडा। तो अभी आप एडिटर में जाओगे तो देखोगे कि यहाँ पे आपका एक env फाइल बन चुका है ऑलरेडी। सो इफ यू कैन सी योर प्रोजेक्ट आईडी, नंबर एंड सर्विस अकाउंट वगैरह, एवरीथिंग इज ऑलरेडी सेट अप। एंड just give me a minute, someone's at the door। Yep, I'm back। So if you can see यहाँ पे आपका ना env setup and यहाँ पे like what do we say, most of your information what was required is already there, plus this is a secret, don't give it to anyone। अगर आप दे दोगे तो nicely using your project number and service account I can run my own services और बिल आपका फटेगा। so make sure this is a secret. And just a minute, let me just dose off this one. Present something else, setting share, cool. Yeah, chala gaya, cool. So now our env is created, our project setup is done. Up seedhe we have to just simply go and build using our adk, which is going to be quite simple. प्रोजेक्ट सेटअप में जितना टाइम लगा है उससे कम टाइम लगेगा आपका व्हाट डू वी से एजेंट बनाने के लिए. तो फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल पहले एज यूजुअल अपना ना वो इनिट पाई वाला जो फाइल होता है वो बना लेते हैं. आई गो बैक टू द टर्मिनल. आई जस्ट सिंपली राइट अ फाइल init py बन चुका है. And after init py, what else will we create? um, we'll simply यहाँ पे ना we'll import our this thing, agent. Cool. So from adk we'll import agent, and इसके अंदर we'll also make a agent.py करके एक फाइल बना लेते हैं जहाँ पे अपना core agent का कोड जाएगा. So earlier we did it something like this, right? यहाँ से we did something like cloud shell edit init.py. यहाँ से भी आप कर सकते हो, just like you do it in your VS code. You can add a file, you can simply call it agent.py. So just to make sure everything falls in the right way, we do it from the terminal, because we doing something from our hand is like mistake उसमें हो सकता है, but if terminal is doing something, there might be no mistake in that. Hello, can you guys hear me?
Yep.
Yeah, there was a network glitch, I think. So cool. So fine, हम लोग ने project setup तो कर लिया, and we've added everything we require. Now सीधे अब agent बनाते हैं. So if you can see a code lab में something around 8 or 8th step में, you will get some boilerplate. You can simply paste that boilerplate in your agent.py file, and I'll explain you what this basically does. Simply पहले ना अपने पास कुछ import statements है. ये langchain import कर रहा है, and it's what do we say, importing your agent basically from adk. And for your tools, it's importing a Wikipedia query run. So whatever query you're giving to your agent, it will search from Wikipedia and give you some data. So that is what we are using. बस इतना ही कोड है, इससे ज़्यादा और कुछ नहीं है. We are just getting our model name from what do we say, our env, and nothing else. So this is just more about setup. तो सेटअप में और इससे ज्यादा कुछ है नहीं, ज्यादा कोड. सो विल जस्ट गो एंड सी what else is to be done. um, we what else can be done is simply we can use our Wikipedia tool to, let's say, चलो मैं कुछ पूछ रहा हूँ अपने एजेंट को that what is the best time to visit like this particular zoo. It should go to Wikipedia, it should get some insights, and then what do we say, will, what do we say, wait a minute, something's wrong. Yeah, fine, my presentation is there. Yeah, it's there. Thank god. Cool. So this particular function will do nothing. It will hit the Wikipedia tool, and वहां से अपना जो भी query है ना उसको यहाँ पे बस लाके डंप कर देगा. सॉरी, उसे रेस्पॉन्स जो आएगा ना उसको लाके डंप कर देगा. सो बेसिकली what is it doing over here? Simply it's setting the context. And for example, langchain क्या कर रहा है? Langchain, let's say visitor is asking something, then ये बस look up कर रहा है to Wikipedia and then getting you the information. So it's like, what do we say, simply a query based what do we say, simply like an API response. You are hitting the Wikipedia service with the prompt that user gave and simply adding that what do we say information that Wikipedia gives to your response. Very very simple. Now, a very important thing that we have to do is write our system based prompt. Like वो four core components में से हमने पहले tool तो डाल दिया, then we have to write our own system prompt. Memory of course memory भी डालेंगे, but पहले system prompt डालते हैं. That I think we will do in something called as uh, researcher, or else let me just copy paste it from code lab. कोड लैब से ही कॉपी पेस्ट करता हूँ. अब लिखने बैठूंगा तो शायद रात हो जाएगी एंड यू गाइज विल स्लीप. देन यू गाइज विल से अरे यार अनुष्का तुम्हारा स्पीकर बहुत लंबा चौड़ा खींच रहा है. सो या लेट मी जस्ट कॉपी पेस्ट इट फ्रॉम हियर. कूल. सो फाइनली अपना agent डॉट पाई कैसे दिखेगा मैं आपको बस वो बता देता हूँ. आई जस्ट ऐड ऑल ऑफ द फंक्शंस फ्रॉम द कोड लैब एंड देन आई एक्सप्लेन यू ब्लॉक बाय ब्लॉक कि अपना एजेंट चलता कैसा है. Cool. Perfect. So first, import statements. Of course, we know what import statements do. Then, what do we say? Function 1, function 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. नहीं, ये तो root agent है. Cool. So, what do these things do? First of all, this is our tool. Tool आ गया. टूल में आप कुछ भी ले सकते हो. वी हैव यूज विकीपीडिया. यू कैन यूज ओपन स्ट्रीट मैप्स टू गेट मैप डेटा. वेदर एपीआई यूज कर सकते हो टू गेट वेदर डेटा. टूल्स आर टोटली अप टू यू. कैन यूज 10 tools based on what your application is. Then we have something called as a researcher agent, जिसमें ना we have given our what do we say system instruction that says you are a helpful research assistant. Your goal is to fully answer the user's prompt. So ये जो instruction we have defined that goes along with the user prompt. If you can see यहाँ जो prompt लिखा है ना, यहाँ पे जाएगा user का prompt. Let's say you've given a prompt कि what is the best place to visit in this particular zoo. This whole thing will go as a prompt using the Wikipedia tool, and जो भी research data निकला है ना Wikipedia से वो भी append होगा. So a key to store the combined findings. तो ये सारा सब मिलकर एक what do we say prompt की तरह जाएगा, which will give you the context rich response like I told. Also जब response आएगा, that response might be very vague, so that response also will be properly synthesized. कि you're a friendly voice of zoo tour guide. Your task is to take the research data which came from Wikipedia and present it to the user in a complete and a helpful answer, which means अपना जितना भी prompt से response आया है ना, output आया है ये सब करने से, वो सब यहाँ पे बस properly in a neat format present होगा. For that we are writing this instruction. So from our core components, LLM is done. LLM अपना यहाँ पे already defined है. We are using Gemini 2.5 Flash and उसको यहाँ पे हम लोगों ने कॉल किया है agent में. Model name we are just getting it from our env, and agent में ना हमने model already assign किया है. So model LLM is done. After that system instructions is done, and in this what we'll do is यहाँ पे ना we'll add कहाँ चला गया yeah another instruction जहाँ पे we'll just simply say that let the user know you will help them learn about the animals in the zoo, so that let's say when somebody says randomly like hi or 2 plus 2 equals what, this particular is the thing, like this service is the particular what do we say thing which will hit and be like hi, how can I help you from this. So this prompt will give the response. Let the user know you will help them learn about the animals we have in the zoo. So this is exactly how when you say hi, it won't just give a hi as a response, but it will give a context rich answer. So this is what it does. Cool. So अपना agent बन गया है, ready है. Let's simply what do we say run and see how it works. So first of all, before running it, we just have to ensure if we have something around three things in our project repository. One is agent.py, init.py, and अपना env. This is there. चलो fine, हमने check कर लिया. Let's just go to terminal and I'll just, whoops, the connection was lost. Okay, reconnect bhai. Fast, 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 fast. Oops, ये क्या हो गया? This one's clear. Cool, fine. So now I'm inside this project. Cool, fine. So अब मैं simply ADK run करूँगा, or else I don't think if it's ADK run. I think it's ADK web. So this will basically give me that UI which what do we say, mm, the basic boilerplate UI जहाँ पे मैं अपना agent test कर सकता हूँ. Also, the code lab has a lot about deployment. You can just skip the deployment part. इतना टाइम क्यों ले रहा है ये? हाँ, done. So now as you can, it's running locally over here. So this is the UI that ADK gives you. यहाँ से आप agent select कर सकते हो. क्या हुआ, drop down काम नहीं कर रहा? Warning, no agents found in the current folder.
I think your that page is not saved.
Acha, okay, just a minute. My bad. Stop sharing. Entire screen. Perfect. Cool. So this is running locally. So I went onto this particular uh, local this thing, but I'm not able to see. Warning, no agents found in the current folder. Okay, which means we are running this from the wrong folder. So simply I'll go here, मैं terminate करूँगा. Let me see if we are in the right folder or not. I'm in Hajipur Zoo. I'll just do ls. We have agent.py. Okay, clear. Interesting. So let me just go to the editor and see if we have everything. Yes, we do. We have requirements. We have agent. Interesting. Did we miss anything from the code lab? नहीं, deployment नहीं चाहिए. Let's go. Nope, I don't think so. We missed something from the code lab. We have environment, this thing, and this thing. Cool.
I think there was some URL issue. Can you just check it once?
Shayad, maybe that might be the thing. So let's open the terminal again. How about I do this by 3 agent.py ऐसे रन करके देखते हैं. Nope. Just give me a minute. Let me go and check my project settings because I don't want to share this because वहाँ पे API keys वगैरह होंगी. Just give me a minute. Oops, I'm running out of charging as well. Meanwhile, how many of you have run the code lab? Like, did you guys create the project and maybe try doing this? Anyone? Also, anyone has any questions still here? हेलो, कोई क्वेश्चंस नहीं है? Okay, let's take questions while I fix this. Uh, uh, yeah, so of course, memory is where the whole context thing comes up. So, agar if there is no memory, it feels like it's hallucinating, but it's not hallucinating actually. It's not getting any context. Anyone else? Any other questions?